first game. Go ahead and spawning in here. In the bottom left from Born Gosu, it is our Protoss player in purple. It is Assam. His opponent in the top right in blue from the Ris3n community team. This is our Zerg J-Subs. PvZ, relatively open standard map. Third base can be kind of difficult to take on this map sometimes, just because it's kind of a strange location. You have the ramp up into your natural, and then you have the rocks here. So it's kind of a nice defensive place to have things, but it can be really awkward to take. If you take this other third base, you have open sides on both sides. A little more difficult to secure. But then once you get to the fourth bases, you're either taking this one that's way down here, and you're expanding even further away from yourself. Or you're taking this one, you're expanding away from your original expansions, which can also be really awkward. Do a PvZ, nothing strange just yet. We have a gateway opener, one gas for some on the side of the map. We have a hatch into a gas into a pool for our Zerg player, so neither player looking like they're going to be aggressive, at least early on. But Assam has been a pretty strong player for Born Gosu, especially in the VTL. I think he promoted to Diamond at some point. He is a European player. I think he promoted to Diamond at some point early in the season, but because of the rules of the VTL itself, you're able to continue playing in your original league. So he is a really strong player to throw out here. So I'm curious what kind of build he might have prepared for this. Of course, neither player really knows who they're going to be playing until, well, until right now. They don't know who the first player is. It is blinds. So there's no really good way to prepare things. I'm looking like a third hatchery is going to be taken. It's going to be taken in the top left area. Perhaps? I mean, he's got quite a time to wait. He may just be looking for some sort of proxy over there. But it's almost up to 300 minerals, so you might see that go down, but no. Okay. Curious about that. Okay, so it is going to be a third hatch. It is going to be on this location, so that's kind of strange. Most Zergs do opt to take the bottom base down here, but see how he's able to defend it in this location? Especially if Assam decides to chrono out a bunch of adapts or something like that. He is chronoing out the Warp 8 research. We have a Stargate is actually going to be the opener here from Assam. Speed coming in here for J-Subs. He's still in gas, so a lot of options open for him. Can't go into a quick lair. He already has the gas to go to a lair if you really wanted to do that. Could opt to go for some crazy Bane bust to begin this game, which can work pretty well against the Stargate openers, depending on what your opponent actually makes. But there are a couple extra gateways, even a shield battery being thrown down here at the natural wall for Assam. So he's going to be pretty safe here. Scouting Probe will eventually see that this is here. I think this might be the first time he's actually seen this hatchery over here. If he was paying attention, the drone did walk past that probe that was patrolling down here at the natural. But he may not have known about that third base until now. Oracle will be the first decision, and of course J-Subs hasn't seen this at all. Hasn't even been inside the main base to see anything. A couple of Lings are going to get over to where the main sort of natural wall-off is. There's a Ling waiting for the third base. He does have this overload here, of course. It is seeing everything, but no clue that there is an Oracle on the way. Kind of the good thing for J-Subs is the fact that he does have these two overloads on this location. So he's able to see things coming his direction. But this Oracle will be a shotgun. There are no Spore Crawlers, there are a number of Queens, but two of them are in the main base. There really is only one here at the natural. So some drones should go down. We will see as the Oracle does enter in the natural base. It's going to dance around and not do anything. Come on. There he goes. Starts killing some drone. Gets one drone, but starts attacking the Queen itself, actually. So a lot less damage than could have been done here by Assam. He needs to get this Oracle out here. He does not want to lose that to nothing. He will get the Oracle out. So he does keep that alive, which is good. Has he really made anything else? Okay, he has made a Phoenix. So he's going to start being annoying to the overlords that are on the map. Start being a jerk. We do have Charge on the way, a War Prism on the way as well. No third Nexus here from Assam just yet. He's got 5 Oracles here. Kind of threatening things. Phoenix still being annoying to that Overlord, but not quite able to kill it off. Doesn't have any kills on that Phoenix. Again, only one drone kill. Only one drone kill for the Oracle, which is not what you want to see, but we do have the third Nexus coming down finally. So this isn't quite going to be any sort of an all-in, even despite having this charge and the Warp Prism on the way. So actually, I guess no idea this Overlord's here. This Warp Prism might drive right past. Nope, let's go this direction. Good handful of Lings and becoming across the map. Going to try and do a little bit of damage to this third location, but I mean, there's plenty of adepts here. There's nothing walling off at the main, so that could be kind of scary. But some should be okay. Warp Prism is in vision of this Overlord here, so that's not going to be a shock. But there isn't really a lot back home for the Zerg player. He's got these few number of Lings on this side of the map. He's only at 38 workers. He's been supply block for a little bit, heading on 5 Overlords right now all at once. 3 Zealots warped in here for Assam. Maybe going toward the natural. There's only a couple of Queens there. That supply block is huge. We have a Hydrogen on the way. There is a Roach Warren already out and available. But again, the supply block means you can't actually build anything. Zealot's going to get on top of this Queen. Going to kill that off nice and easy there. Going to start going off a second Queen. Probably can kill that one too, but a couple of Roaches are going to come here and defend this. This should get cleaned up. But still, even just losing the 2 Queens there is actually a pretty big deal for the Zerg player. Now he's only got 1 Queen in the main, 1 Queen here at the third base. A huge round of drones, 10 drones coming out here. And a good number of Roaches. It's looking like J-Subs wants to get a little aggressive here. His +1 attack has finished up. He has a +1 attack for both melee and range, so he can get a little damage done if he wants. Possibly can sneak in here, but there's a shield battery, there's a cannon. Not a lot of defense otherwise. There is a single Immortal, some Adepts, and some Zealots just get worked on as well. Actually, a second Immortal joins this, so this shouldn't do too much damage so long as Assam is able to react to this. Burst speed is just now started up, so it's gonna be a ways away. Behind all this, J-Subs has just kind of continued to actually get his work count up. He has been pretty low on workers the entire game, just now surpassing the Protoss player. Here, actually, Assam pulls ahead once again. There's a couple probes to finish up. This attack is coming on in. The reaction is nice and fast from our Protoss player. He's got a couple of Templar here, but of course they don't have Storm just yet. Storm just started, but the Immortals plus the shield battery, this is going to do a lot of damage. A lot of this army is going to die off here. There isn't a lot of Zealots here, so J-Sub should be able to get mostly away, but without the Roach speed, this is actually kind of a problem. But Assam is going to pull back. We have a Lurker Den on the way here for our Zerg player, so that can be frightening as well. Do we have any observers actually out? Okay, there's one observer that's actually right next to the Overlord itself, the Overseer itself, I should say. I'm going to try and get the Queens to come take this out. No Hydras just yet that have actually been built. That observer does go down without, importantly, without spotting the Lurker Den. So it's actually kind of a big deal that he picked that off that quickly. So Assam is not going to be prepared for this. He does have a Stargate available. He's just making a bunch of gateways right now. He does have Storm about to finish up as well. There is no 4th Nexus just yet from our Protoss player. No 4th Hatchery. Oh, okay. 4th Hatchery right here. I'm just so used to that being 3rd base. That is the 4th, and it is finished up. But there's no 4th Nexus just yet. 4 gateways being added on. We do have had the double Immortal production for a little while. Assam, if he wants to not just die to a bunch of Lurkers, probably needs to get on that pretty quick. And we see the new War Chest skin on these Hydras for our Zerg player. Pretty nifty. Every Zerg hates mech, so may as well join them, right? Assam's just going to take this Nexus, maybe take the Nexus and get on the map, but no, he's just going to take the Nexus. The Warp Prism still exists over here, so you can warp in a big round of Zealots so you can go after this hatchery that is here, and even go towards the main base. The entire army is on this side of the map for the Zerg player. He's actually setting up a nice flank. He's got Zerg army coming in from all directions. There are a bunch of cannons over here at third base. Roaches and Hydras coming to the 4th Nexus. That gets killed off. No cancel there, but all of the Lings that were coming into the kind of that ramp there do die off, and all the Lings that were at the third base do die off as well. I don't really think he even killed any probes over there. That was rough. Lost a lot of army, but he does cancel this Nexus. I don't even cancel. It was a full-on kill. So he does delay that 4th Nexus for quite a long time. A couple more Stargates actually being added on here by Assam, so he's just getting absolutely everything up. Again, just nothing being done with the War Prism, nothing being done with the Phoenix. This Oracle has been up here the entire game since the opener. There's another hatchery here for J-Sub, so despite his early game woes getting his economy rolling, he's in a pretty solid position now. 70 drones, he's got 5 hatches. Of course, we do have very few mineral patches in the main base. Spire on the way, he's got the Hive on the way. He's setting up. This game possibly could last a really long time. Fleet Beacon even coming out now for the Protoss player. He still hasn't, I don't think, he still hasn't actually seen the Lurker Den.
Mineral field empty.
And I don't think he's actually seen any of the Lurkers themselves. These 4 just got morphed in recently. An additional 6 being morphed in right now, actually. It's going to be a whole lot. With Hive finishing up here in just a few seconds, he can get the Lurker burrow speed started and get that rolling. And that's when it gets really scary for this player. That's a lot of cannons. A whole lot of cannons over at this fort there, so no link Urban is going to be able to do much over there. Assam working himself out on the map. He just doesn't realize he has this War Prism down here. It is kind of hidden on the minimap if you're not really paying attention. If you're not playing with the green and red automatically. Nice revelation there on the entire army. We do have a few Lurkers burrowed in a couple of locations here. This could get kind of scary because there aren't any observers with the army. There is a single Oracle here. If the Oracle's able to use Revelation, he'll be able to pick these off, but I don't think he knows that they're actually there. I think he realizes it now and said, hey, I just took a ton of damage for absolutely nothing. A couple defensive storms come out. He's got to kind of rethink his position here. He's got carriers on the way now. He's even got the carrier interceptor, whatever this is, the Graviton catapult. Makes them launch a little quicker. He's got that upgrade on the way. It just finished up. There are corruptors that have been made, but I'm curious he's going to turn these into Broodlords. That looks like that's what he wanted to do, eventually at least. He's got the Spire about to finish up into the Greater Spire. Just kind of checking out the upgrades right now. We have +2/+2 melee and ranged attack. There is no Carapace upgrade at all for the Zerg player, and only +2, or actually +3 weapons for the Protoss, so they're kind of even on upgrades. Protoss is a little bit ahead with that +3 upgrade. +1 air attacks on the way as well for Assam. So he is setting up kind of a turtley situation. It's kind of a later part of the game. Carriers are just going to kind of continue to mass up. Probably going to trade out some army. He even has the mothership on the way coming out of his natural nexus. Army's getting close to each other here. Would like to see this Oracle run forward and get a revelation off. We're going to see each other here. He knows that is there. All of the Lurkers are really far away from the entire army. Needs to be careful about that. They're going to start burrowing. Actually, Storm's going down before they even decide to start burrowing. That was probably a shift command, and the observers are here this time. All of the Lurkers do die off. Storms are absolutely massive. There isn't a lot left over for the Protoss army, but he's got a ton of Immortals in this army, and it's just Roaches really left over at this point. That is a ton of Broodlords. 9 Broodlords being made right now. There's nothing that really shoots up for our Protoss player that's actually here. So he's going to try and kill off this hatchery, which he does. Going to kill off probably the ground army and get on out of there, but he's losing a ton for this. A big weapon of Zealots does come in. It's going to help this out. But of course, the Zealots also don't shoot up. And now that the Broodlords are here, there we go. Recalls on out of there. And he's starting to mass up a bunch of Stalkers being morphed in summer. There is a single... Wow, all these observers. The single Phoenix are getting picked off by 1 Hydra. It's a lot of Broodlords, but of course, J-Subs doesn't really know the fact that there's this massive army here. Got a lot of carriers in here. 3 carriers finished, 3 finishing up shortly. A bunch of Stalkers have finished up as well, but there are a lot of Lings here. They only have the +2 attack. Ton of cannons, only 1 shield battery, so Link's gonna get on over here and start doing some damage. Meanwhile, the main brunt of the army is on this side of the map, and he's taking out this 3rd and Nexus. So I'm just kind of saying, okay, I'll sacrifice this base, that's fine. He loses 11 probes to go after the main army here. Hydra's doing a lot of damage, mainly to the interceptors, which is a bit of an issue for Assam. He can't keep those alive. You've seen the production tab, the interceptors constantly being made here. If he's able to kill off the few Hydras that do remain, he's got a lot of Stalkers here. They don't have Blink, so they can't actually get on top of these Broodlords here, which would be absolutely massive. They're kind of just fighting the Broodlings themselves. There's only one carrier, so the Hydras, despite how few of them there were, doing a ton of damage there, picking off 2 carriers. And the Broodlords are having to run here, but without Blink, this is so difficult to chase. Same time, the Lings are still doing a ton of damage. They've taken out 21 probes at this point, continuing to just run everything over into the main base. A couple of carriers here trying to deal with this. No weapons from Assam because he has absolutely no mineral economy right now. That is a massive artificial pylon, but it does survive. Had that gone down, that would have been a problem because that's 4 gateways and that's 3 stargates. If had the blink research there, actually this may have been there for the blink, but the blink research on the Robo facility as well. Ton of corruptors get made, and J-Subs, kind of the superior macro at this point, still has 67 workers. They are on even bases. Assam is just trying to get his mineral economy back and rolling. Luckily for Protoss players, they do have Templar, and Templar don't cost many minerals, so they can just warp in a bunch of those, especially considering they have Storm. Another hatchery going to go down here. No cancel on that. J-Sub's a little indecision there. He was moving out on the map, thinking about maybe going for just a counter, but that is a lot of corruptors. They'll probably just try and snipe off individual carriers. One carrier about... Oh, he kind of missed micros a little bit there, but 2 carriers do go down really quickly. No storms coming down. Actually, the Templar themselves walking into the storms. That's kind of scary. Not a lot of storm actually energy left over. He needs to turn this into Archons. There are a ton of Templar here that just have no energy. The 5 Broodlords that do remain are doing a lot of damage. Actually, just fighting, for the most part, just the Broodlings. Unlike the carriers, Broodlings don't have to be remade and do not cost any minerals. A little bit of superiority there. There's a lot of ground army here that isn't able to do anything except for fight the Broodlings. There's only a few Stalkers left. 3 Stalkers, but they're doing a ton of damage. That +3 attack upgrade putting in work here. He is backing off. He wants to send his army and start taking out some economy here. Not a lot in the way of Zerg army. A lot of Hydras rolling in here, but again with the upgrades, +3 attack, +1 shields for the Protoss player. Only the +2 attack. No Carapace upgrades. So those Hydras are kind of just melting at this point. Yet another hatchery goes down. The Zealot buffer is starting to get picked off completely. They're getting to a point where Assam might want to think about kind of pulling out of this, but at this point I think he's just kind of committed to doing what he can with this army and hoping he has enough back home once anything starts moving across the map. Another hatchery, 16 drones do die. Not a lot of mining going on for our Zerg player. Look at the income tab itself. You can see that starting to swing heavily in favor of our Protoss, but not a lot of production going on the other side of the map. Last couple of Zealots do go down. And what do we have for our Protoss? He has a single carrier somewhere. 1 carrier. He's got 1 Zealot that just died. He's making some pylons. He's making Templar. Assam is essentially out of money at this point. The army supply looking at 58 to 24. It's only 3 Broodlords, but the Roach and Ling support should be enough for the Zerg player. There's a lot of cannons here, which actually is going to help Assam out quite a bit, but he does need an army. He's just got these Templar, essentially. He's warping in what he can when he can. Both players on even workers, but the army supply is absolutely in favor of a Zerg player. Neither player really has a ton of money right now. Kind of just sinking all of it into army supply. We are seeing some pro protection from the Protoss player at least. He's going to probably want to take these gases here eventually, but yeah, it's kind of a rough situation for both of our players. Gases at the natural are probably close to running out. Okay, we still have 1,000 gas here. He's going to go ahead and start taking those gases, but the Broodlords are here, so this is going to just be a slow siege at this location. Shield Battery might be the first thing to actually die here. 6 Stalkers, going to see what they can do, but with the Roach and Ling support, they're going to have to get on out of there. 1 Broodlord does go down. No Storms got down yet, but there are Templar are moving forward, trying to, well, just attack. They're not actually using their Storm at all. Templars are all dead. They had a ton of energy to actually do a lot of work, but he just chose not to use it. that might actually spell the doom for a Protoss player. He's got no production right now at all. 4 army supply. Cannons are going down. Even the Corruptors spitting their goo at a pylon, of all things. Nothing left over on this side of the map for the Protoss player. He's got 1 base remaining that has any mining. He's got 27 probes for 4 mineral patches. Warping in a couple of Templar. He's got a few Zealots. We still have 1 Broodlord here. I think J-Subs realizes he doesn't really want to overcommit right now. He's going to just kind of back off. Combine his army once again. Morphing in yet another Broodlord. And there's really no answer for Assam at this point. And you look at these outer bases for both players, really. Assam has a really healthy base down here in the bottom right. Another hatchery coming in. Assam trying to take, or said Assam rather, J-Subs has the healthy base down here, obviously. Assam trying to take another Nexus up to the top left, but with as little money as he has, little army as he has, 78 to 26 army supply, he's got a lot of Templar, but he needs to actually use the Storm this time. War Prism runs directly into the army there. Not that he really would have been able to do too much with that. Zerg army is going to start pushing forward here at this point. 4 Broodlords. Storm can do a lot of damage here. He just needs to make it actually happen. For now, Assam is happy to sit there and watch the Broodlings kill off a Geyser. A single Archon, a couple of Stalkers. That's all we have that shoots up besides the Storm. Storm needs to go down right about now. He does get really nice Storms off. Holy crap, most of the Zerg army does die off. Of course, the Broodlings, however, kind of still a big deal. The Broodlords do survive. Storm energy is out. That was about as good as that possibly could have gone there for Assam. This is not going to be enough, it doesn't seem like. J-Subs now doubling supply, and Assam will tap out. GG. Ris3n will go up 1-0 here in this best of 7.